MATATAG TLE 7. Our topic is about fundamentals of hospitality and tourism industry. A. Content standards. The learners demonstrate an understanding of the fundamentals of the hospitality and tourism industry. B. Performance standards. The learners apply skills in food preparation and services following safety precautions. C. Learning competency 1. Differentiate hospitality and tourism. 2. Distinguish the types and forms of tourism and the kinds of tourists. Learning objectives. First, identify the types and forms of tourism. Second, explain the importance of travel and tourism in discovering places, appreciating culture, and promoting national identity. Third, create an initial tourism campaign slogan or logo idea through collaborative brainstorming that reflects the culture and attractions of their province or barangay. Short review. Let's start our lesson with a fun activity. I'll show you some pictures of beautiful places in the Philippines. Raise your hand if you can identify the name and location of the place. Let's see how many tourist spots you can recognize. Identify pictures of tourist spots in the Philippines. First, look closely at these green stair-like fields carved into the mountains. What do you think this is called? Yes, the Banawe rice terraces. Can you imagine how old these terraces are? These were built by the Ifugao ancestors over 2,000 years ago, by hand. They're sometimes called the eighth wonder of the world. Why do you think tourists love to visit this place? Now here's a breathtaking cone-shaped mountain. Who can name this volcano? Correct, Mayan volcano. But did you know it's also an active volcano? Here's a picture of crystal clear blue water and fine white sand. Where do you think this paradise is? Right, Boracay Island. It's world famous for its beaches and sunset views. What activities do you think tourists enjoy doing there? Exactly, this place is known for leisure and relaxation. Now, look at this. Many green hills that turn brown during summer. What are they called? Yes, Chocolate Hills. Why do you think they have that name? That's right, they look like chocolate kisses. Imagine how unique this landscape is. There are over 1,200 hills in Bohol. Now here's a park in the middle of a busy city. It's a place of national pride and history. What is this called? Correct, Rizal Park or Luneta. Why do you think this place is important to our history? Now, here's a place with Spanish-style walls and streets made of cobblestone. Does anyone recognize this place? Correct. It's known as the Walled City of Manila. This last one shows a volcano inside a lake. It's quite unique, right? Do you know what it is? That's Taal Volcano in Tagaytay City. It's one of the smallest active volcanoes in the world. Why do you think visitors love going here? You've identified many beautiful tourist attractions around the Philippines. Now, let's talk about what's near us. What tourist spots can we visit in our own province or nearby cities? Reflective writing. We've just explored many wonderful tourist attractions. Now, let's take a moment to dream. Imagine that you are planning your own trip with your family or friends. Where would you go? Who would you bring? When will it happen? How will you make it possible? This activity is called My Travel Goal. Let's dream big but also plan wisely. Fill in the blanks with details stated in the numbers. 1. Your name. Write your full name. 2. The places where you like to go. It could be a beach, a city, a mountain, or a heritage site you wish to explore. 3. The people whom you like to be with you during your travel. Maybe your family, classmates, or close friends. 4. Your target travel date. Choose a time when you can make this trip possible, like during vacation. 5. Realistic plans to achieve your travel goals. Think of ways such as saving money, studying hard, or joining school trips. Let's take a few minutes to reflect. Read your paragraph silently and think about what it means to you. Remember, fulfill your dreams through good planning and appreciation of the world around you. Let's read this quote together. The most beautiful in this world is, of course, the world itself. What message do you think it gives us? How can we relate this quote to our lives as learners and travelers? Why do you think it's important to explore and appreciate the world we live in? Let's learn some important words that we will often use in our lesson about tourism and hospitality. Who would like to read the first term? 1. The hospitality and tourism industry is a vast sector that includes all the economic activities that directly or indirectly contribute to or depend upon travel and tourism. This industry sector includes hotels and resorts, restaurants and catering, and clubs and bars. This refers to all the businesses that serve travelers, like hotels, restaurants, resorts, and tour services. They make travel comfortable and enjoyable. Have you ever stayed in a hotel or eaten in a restaurant during a trip? That is part of this industry. 2. Tourism. It is the act and process of spending time away from home for recreation, relaxation, and pleasure while using the commercial provision of services. Tourism means going to another place to relax, enjoy, or learn something new. People do it for vacation, study, or adventure. Can anyone share where they've gone for a trip or vacation? Hospitality is the activity or business of providing services to guests in hotels, restaurants, bars, and other areas where people go to eat or relax. Hospitality is about welcoming guests and making them feel comfortable. The term hospitality can also be applied in our homes or schools when we treat visitors kindly. How can you show hospitality to guests who visit your home? Accommodation is the act of providing what is needed or desired for convenience to guests. Accommodation is the place or arrangement where guests stay or rest, like hotels, inns, or homestays. It provides comfort and convenience while traveling. If visitors came to our town, where do you think they could stay? Travel is to move or transfer from one place to another for an important purpose. Travel means going from one place to another for an important purpose, like studying, working, relaxing, or exploring new places. Nowadays, many people share their travel experiences online. Have you ever watched a travel vlog? Who was the vlogger, and where did they go? Today, we'll explore more about traveling through our topic, fundamentals of the tourism industry. Let's begin by thinking, why do people travel? Some travel for fun, others for work, and some for study or health reason. All of these reasons are part of what we call tourism. Why do you think traveling matters to people? What can we learn when we explore new places? Tourism can be grouped in different ways. The first one is based on the point of origin. This simply refers to where the traveler comes from. Second is based on travel arrangements. This means how a trip is planned and paid for. And lastly is based on the purpose of travel. This tells us why people travel or what their main goal is when visiting another place. 1. Domestic tourism happens when residents travel within their country of residence. This is more difficult to measure than the other kind because there are rarely currency, language, or visa implications. When we say domestic tourism, it means traveling within our own country. For example, if you live here in Pampanga and you go to Baguio City, Cebu, or Palawan for a vacation, that's domestic tourism. Can anyone share a place here in the Philippines that you or your family have visited for fun or relaxation? Two. International tourism involves travel outside the country of residence where currency, language, and visa are to be considered. Now, let's talk about international tourism. This happens when you travel outside the country. For example, going to Japan, Korea, or Singapore, that's international tourism. Who here has relatives working or traveling abroad? Those are great examples. When they visit another country, they become international tourists. They need a passport, sometimes a visa, and they use another country's money and language. 1. An inclusive tour is a travel where several components like accommodation, fare, food, and amenities are purchased together, and one price is paid. This is when everything, your hotel, transportation, food, and activities, is already arranged and paid for as one package. You just pay once, and everything is ready. For example, when you book a travel package to Boracay that already includes airfare, hotel, and meals, that's an inclusive tour. Who here has seen or heard travel agencies offering all-in packages? That's an example of an inclusive tour. 2. Independent travel is when needed components like accommodation, fare, food, and amenities are purchased separately. This is when travelers arrange everything by themselves. You book your own flight, find your own hotel, and choose your own restaurants. For example, if you go to Baguio and personally book your bus ticket and Airbnb online, that's independent travel. Who among you thinks you'd enjoy planning your own trip someday? Why? 3. Tailor-made travel is a combination of inclusive and independent travel, and the internet may be used for bookings and payments. This one combines both. You plan some parts on your own, and you let a travel agency handle the rest. For example, you might book your flight online but let a tour agency organize your city tours. 1. Leisure and recreation include visiting other places during weekends, holidays, or free time to visit friends and relatives, exploring other places for cultural tourism, and leisure and sports activities like swimming, hiking, and biking to distress and rejuvenate. This means traveling for enjoyment or relaxation. People go on vacations, visit relatives, or join outdoor activities like swimming, hiking, or biking. For example, going to Boracay to relax or visiting your grandparents in the province during summer vacation, that's leisure and recreation. Who here loves traveling during holidays or weekends? Where do you usually go? Two. Study travel includes visiting another place or country to learn or apply skills learned inside the classroom in a different environment, such as in the practicum training program. This is when people travel to learn or apply something they studied in school. For example, students going to another city or country for a field trip, skills training, or practicum program. When you travel to observe, learn, and gain experience, that's study travel. Can you think of a subject or course where students might travel to learn more? 3. Health tourism is a wider term for travel that focuses on medical treatments and the use of healthcare services. It covers a wide field of health-oriented tourism, ranging from preventive and health-conductive treatment to rehabilitation and curative forms of travel. Wellness tourism is a related field. This focuses on traveling for medical or wellness reasons. Some people visit another city or country for medical treatment, therapy, or relaxation in a healing environment. For example, going to hot spring resorts or spa retreats for rest and recovery. Have you heard of people visiting natural hot springs or wellness centers? 4. Business and professional tourism involves traveling to a destination away from home or a normal workplace. Some types of business tourism are incentive travel, exhibitions, trade fairs, conferences and meetings, and corporate events. This happens when people travel for work-related activities like meetings, conventions, exhibitions, or conferences. For example, company representatives attending a seminar in another city, that's business tourism. Who do you think are the people who often travel for work? All of these show that people travel for many reasons, not just for fun, but also for growth, health, and opportunity. Now that we've learned the fundamentals of tourism, it's time to apply what we've discussed through a fun and creative task. Let's put your ideas into action as we start our hands-on activity. In this activity, you'll get the chance to show how tourism can be promoted in your community, just like how our country creates its own campaign slogans. Let's look at how our country promoted tourism through the years. Each slogan tells a story about who we are and what makes the Philippines special. Think, pair, share. Now, let's make this more exciting. I want you to think of your own slogan or logo idea that can promote our barangay or province. What makes our place special? What would encourage tourists to visit? After thinking, you will pair up with a classmate to share your ideas. Work together to write your slogan and sketch your logo draft on one whole sheet of paper. This is just a plan. Tomorrow, you will design your final output. Don't forget to bring your coloring materials and short bond paper. Worked example. We've already learned what tourism is and its different types. Now, let's connect it to our real-life experiences. Think about these questions. A. Why do people travel? B. What are the positive and negative impacts of the pandemic on the tourism industry? C. How can you help in the promotion of domestic tourism? Let's recall what we learned about the types and forms of tourism. We discussed them based on the point of origin, travel arrangements, and purpose. Now, let's read their short meanings all together. Lesson activity. To end our lesson, let's reflect on what traveling means to us personally. I'll share with you some pictures from my own travels. Now, think about the places you dream to visit someday.